Hey, AfterBuzzers, and we're back for another Queen Sugar After Show, Season 1, Episode 6, as promised. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey.
Working out.
I love that you're playing your little air bass.
Yeah, it's more like a banjo.
Does that make
Yeah,
me
it's more
lead?
like a banjo.
Yeah,
Am I the lead now? Am I finally Beyonce?
No.
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 Stay in your lane, Michelle.
No.
Yes.
I was killing.
He's Michelle.
I was telling you, he's
You're
Michelle.
Michelle. No. She said it, not me. Upgrade.
Welcome, everyone, to the Queen Sugar After Show.
No idea.
I'm your host, Tiona Hobson. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at the Tiona Hobson. And as always, I'm joined by my two amazingly awkward, no, I'm just joking, amazing
Awkward black boy.
co-hosts. And I'll let you guys.
Hey, I'm Ryann Graham. Apparently I'm awkward, which I already knew. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan with 2 N's Graham and on Instagram at Instagram.
And you can follow me at On with Omari on Twitter and IG.
Perfect. This is, in case you guys don't recognize, this is the song that's playing in the episode
Little,
tonight
like, jig.
during the when they were out in the field working.
Work it out.
Getting them hoes to work.
I don't think anyone had a hoe in the episode. Like a garden
farming.
tool hoe. No one had a garden tool hoe in the episode. That was
It's
hard.
farming. Of course there's a hoe in there.
No.
No, there were some shovels, maybe a
okay.
rake,
But not a hoe.
What do I know?
ain't no hose.
I think hoes are literally like house gardens. I don't think you hoe in like a field.
All right, well, we can move to
Yeah.
Melina if you want to talk about
No,
that.
we're gonna wait till the end of the
Alright.
episode to talk about
there.
her and that, and you should not be using hoe and then Melina in the same
she
sentence.
is a prostitute? A
No.
whore? Is
She is an escort.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
they like
sorry.
to be called escorts now.
Right.
Oh, my bad. I'm
We have
so
a very
insensitive.
You are
strong
so
profession,
insensitive.
and we like to be called escorts.
Forgive me.
Classy. We. I've joined the ranks.
You joined it. All right. Well, we're gonna start off by talking about Nova.
Okay.
Because I feel like I always start off talking about Nova because she usually is the one opening the episode, so she's
Strong character.
yeah.
You called this in the first episode.
I sure did. I
Yeah.
said, but I mean, I guess granted, this was not what I thought. So Nova kind of, sort of talks about the Charley and Davis situation, not in the way I originally thought. Because when I called it out, I will admit that I was wrong. I said she was gonna like use it to make herself gain
Right.
notoriety.
And
And
the effect is still sort of the same.
kind
She
of,
feels
but
betrayed.
but at this
But-
point, I don't feel like it was her fault. I feel like it was Charley being sensitive.
I feel the same way because during the radio show thing, these two guys whose names I didn't even write down, they were
Yeah.
being jerks about everything.
right.
You know, she kept trying to steer the conversation to her article, and they've got Chantal Williams on the show as well. And, you know, we're trying to talk about, and she's a Black Lives Matter activist, and you
Right.
want to talk about calling this girl a hoe, and oh man, did you see that ass though? I would have hit it. And,
Yeah.
She's
you know,
standing up for the woman.
yeah, like, so she was just standing up, and I believe what she says is the rape victims are always plastered in the media as being guilty, and,
Right.
you know, it's always their dirty laundry that comes out first.
Right.
And that shouldn't be the case, and I don't think that any one side should really be coming
And
out.
in the same breath, I feel like she could have said, but also you have to think about the wives and the children and the families in the situation that are put on blast, right? And stick up for her sister.
I agree.
Did she say that? I don't know.
No, she didn't.
Okay.
She I agree that like maybe she could have, but in the moment
Yeah.
when those guys just like, 'cause, like she was literally trying to like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm here to talk about my article. I'm here
Right.
to talk about Black Lives Matter, and you're here trying to talk about nonsense. So I think she just got fed up and then just kind of spit it at because I think. I am not a woman, but I can imagine as Nova being a woman, right? No, I know, shocker. I can imagine that Nova being a woman and hearing someone degrade another woman, you're just like, whoa, hold up. Like, you don't know the full story. And then, like, at that point, they were talking about, like, rape victims in general, or rape in general.
Yeah.
And, like, and specifically women who, like, hook up with,
So
like,
what did
athletes.
Charley hear in the interview?
So
that made-
Charley, she heard her say, "Why are the women
victim.
always being attacked?" And she
Yeah,
made
like-
it seem like Melina was a victim, and it pissed Charley off. Which, like,
Okay.
I get Charley, but at the same time, like,
Yeah, because
that's not what
Charley
it's
coming
about.
from the LA world of being management and dealing
Right.
with publicity and everything, because Nova is Charlie's sister.
Right.
Anything she says, people are going to assume she's speaking on behalf of that family.
Right.
And Nova is clearly not speaking on behalf because she has turned it into a general. She says, why do we blame the victims in rape cases.
Right.
It wasn't in this specific rape case against my brother-in-law. Why are we blaming the victim?
She took it out of that.
She took it out of that and she made it a broader statement. But in Charley's eyes, which I can understand, you know, it's like she's speaking for the family.
Who's trying to like just tear the family apart and
Yeah.
just looking for money because she knows about the $3 million.
Yeah.
Right, and I think Charley was also in a different headspace because she's getting ready to go
Pay this woman
give
off.
this money that she does not want to give, obviously. But like diving into that, what I found interesting was like the idea that we constantly have distractions from real issues. Because like in that interview, they were trying to talk about Black Lives Matter, and they were like,
Preach,
"Oh,
brother.
Goldie with the booty," like blah blah blah. And it's like, and then they kept bringing up celebrity culture and pop culture. And I'm like, I honestly feel like that happens so much, and it's annoying because real things will be happening, and then Kim Kardashian will release a selfie, or
Yep.
Taylor Swift's like, you know,
Somebody
it's
gets
always
divorced.
something,
Yeah.
or the Met Gala, and it's always something stupid. Yeah, or like Brad Pitt and Angelina, which is like these are people's
Like a
private
kid got
lives.
shot
Like,
the same day, and
Yeah.
CNN was just
like
like
talking about
Angelina
Ryan.
broke
and to
up.
me, I'm like, one, they're like anybody's divorce is them and that person's business. I don't like. I feel bad for
Super
someone's
sad, super
divorce,
sad,
like,
yeah.
but like I don't care. Like it does not affect me in my daily life. Whereas police brutality it does affect daily life. So I feel like
Yeah.
it was an interesting kind of like tidbit to real life because that happens all the time.
Have you
There'll
ever
be
been pulled
real
over?
shit. I have honestly. I will personally say like I've had arguments with some of my black friends because I honestly have never felt.
What'd you
profiled.
argue about?
No,
What's
because
that?
No, I was not profiled.
I will
Damn it.
honestly say I have never felt like I was racially profiled.
Okay.
By the
That's
police.
good for you.
By the
You're
police.
lucky.
I'll say by the police.
Yeah, by the
I will caveat because I do feel like I have.
I haven't had
but
that same luxury.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I mean. I had to give that argument because I was saying like, not all police, and not that I don't understand
Right.
that police brutality is real because I do get it, but I'm like, you can't just go and say like, because they were talking about campus security. Side note.
Sorry.
This is
Yeah.
way I want to
But back to this radio
Right,
show.
right. I'm sorry. I would have
It's also very interesting how, you know, they filmed this show months ago, but how relevant this conversation is because if you look at Nate Parker right now, who's going around
right,
advertising
right.
for Birth of a Nation, you know, he's getting a lot of flack because every interview he's doing, the
Asked
rape
about
case is
this.
being
Brought
brought
up.
up. And he keeps saying, you know, why is this keep coming up? I'm trying to promote a
And he-
film. This
right.
happened in
These are
1999. Like, it's separate
He also
things.
said he didn't apologize
He,
for that night.
he's not going
He said
to.
he's not
or doesn't.
sorry.
There's no plan.
He's
to
saying
apologize.
what he said was that the 19-year-old him, he does not think that he raped the girl. He believes that wholeheartedly. So he's not going to apologize for something that he does not believe he did and that the court
said he
deemed
didn't.
said
Yeah,
he
he was
didn't
acquitted.
do.
So
But he also said that now, you know, however many years later, being a grown man with a family, the actions of that 19-year-old kid are so much different than how he thinks now. And where the actions of that kid may be something that
Right.
like were not right,
So
but he still is standing that he didn't rape her. But
But hindsight's 2020. If he has this new perspective and this new
Yeah.
worldview about rape culture, then he would be able to apologize if he thinks
but I mean, I think
Differently
that like
now.
by apologizing, he then
we admit guilt.
like yeah,
Yeah.
It at least even if
that's-
it's not actual guilt, the appearance of guilt is there.
Exactly.
And then
And you know that woman killed herself.
right, you know,
Yeah,
you know,
so,
and and that which is tragic and it's sad. But what I'm saying is that I think he is still saying like
That night,
that night
19-year-old
it was
kid,
different.
it was
Yeah.
two drunk kids.
And at the end of the day, I feel like separate the artist from the art.
A lot of people use that
Like
argument.
because I feel like why can I not think of the movie now? A Birth of a Nation is its own standalone artwork, and
Sure,
people should
sure,
judge
sure.
that for what it is.
it's bigger than just him.
Right.
Right.
And
The
I think
movie
that's the
itself.
bigger issue is that
Yeah.
like they're trying to like the movie has nothing to do, I mean
Yeah.
nothing to do with his personal life.
Yeah, and we're gonna
Obviously,
get off
yeah.
of this topic
Yeah,
because
we
it's not really about
gone
the
into
show.
a rabbit hole. We have-
But I will say
Similar
that they did
themes.
bring on the Julie Smith, who is Olivia Pope's like inspiration
Yeah.
to help with the whole fixing of the
okay.
situation
Great.
of
Fixing
that.
that.
So she is involved. Anyways,
bless Olivia Pope.
Nova also, you know, she over here like getting a little boo thing, maybe.
I was a little like turned on by that interaction. I was like, whoa, this is really hot and like sexy.
The exchanging of necklaces is
Yeah,
what does it for you.
It was
So-
super sexy.
Look, I will say this: if a girl
Intimate.
actually like takes your phone and puts her number in there, like that is a bold move, and that means she
your number.
definitely wants you to call her. Because trust me, I don't put my number in anyone's phones ever. If anything, you can ask for my number and I'm gonna change one digit so you cannot contact
and Nova
me.
was all up in her neck, just smelling her as she was putting the necklace on, just like.
Well, was Nova in her neck, or was the girl like being
The girl
like
was
here,
showing some collarbone and
sure
really
the collarbone
getting it
was-
in there.
That was smooth. That was some good game.
Is
I was
it-
taking notes.
Is it
Like,
weird? I honestly like. I feel like this is weird, random, not weird that it's
Go ahead, what
those
is it?
two.
But it's-
I just feel like what this. I feel like this.
how
is
is
just,
it random?
I feel like this is a random thing to just throw into the show mid-season.
It's her life.
No,
She-
because they mentioned.
I know, and
I mentioned a couple episodes ago.
I
you
know.
about her little lesbian
Vicarious.
phasing.
I
Yeah.
remember that, but I feel like to me it feels forced. Like
Why does-
I do remember. I understand
Yeah.
how we got there. I'm
If
not
it was
like,
a man, would it feel forced?
Oh shit.
I mean, I know how this is gonna sound.
It's-
Like I
that's
know
what it's-
how this
yes,
sounds.
I
I know this
understand.
exactly. I get
That's
it.
why I wanna make
What
sure
I'm
you
saying
clarify.
is that I feel like
It's just a love interest.
right, and if in real life for someone
Right.
to have a love interest that is any sex is whatever, I think it makes sense. But I feel like for the sake of a show, it feels a little like let's throw this in because we don't have a gay character. That's how it feels to me. Like, and as a member of the LGBT community, it feels forced. That's more so what I mean. Is
It
I'm
seems
like,
so natural. That whole interaction,
know.
it seems so natural to me.
to me, it didn't. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I just felt
Sure,
like this
sure.
feels like why is this happening now?
I kind of liked it.
Oh,
I think
sweet.
it's, before she had someone already and
Mm-hmm.
they're not together anymore. So I think it's just, she wasn't looking for anything. It's just, they had a strong connection in the room and we don't know what it could turn
Right,
into. It
it-
could just
right.
be a
It's
friendship
just
at the end of the
nothing.
day. She
Exactly.
still
Could be-
hasn't called the girl. It's been like 2 days.
Right.
So,
Right.
the episode, kept going and we never saw or heard from her again. So.
No, you're right. It's nothing at this point.
Yeah,
So-
at this point, it's still just like, oh, she was flirting and,
Yes.
kind of getting back out there in a way. Because I think Nova
Right.
even was kind of like, I don't really know what's
What this
happening or what
is.
this
I
is.
just enjoy that
That's very
interaction.
true.
I just thought it was like a sweet, interesting, cool moment between Nova and
was
this
interesting.
beautiful young lady.
And yes, I mean, I am for her being happy. I just felt like
It was-
you just left a relationship, and then why even introduce Calvin? Then to me, I feel like Calvin is
because
useless
Calvin's
at
gonna
this
be coming
point.
back.
Yeah, he's not
for it.
done.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
So
he's
then-
also married.
Right.
So
but then
she-
why does Nova have
To give her
okay.
some conflict, to give her some
She already
choice, to give
she already
her,
had conflict.
well,
I don't know,
a little
but
more
okay.
drama never
Yeah.
hurt.
Okay, this week. Yeah.
She's also, getting calls from Too Sweet, who is out of
kid.
the hospital now. He's in the infirmary, but he's going to be back in his cell like any day now. And it's heartbreaking to hear their conversation because he says, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
He has no public defender still. They can't set bail because, he can't get a
Get a
trial
lawyer,
date.
yeah.
There's a wait list for all this stuff. And he's just like, how am I supposed to...
Desperation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's desperation. He's like, the guards watched me get jumped. I didn't know who it was, and they did nothing to help me.
I
He's
wish
just
I
a kid.
could know like the suicide rates for like young youth in like adult prisons because I'm sure
look that
that's
up,
what
sure.
we should look that up. It's a very traumatic experience, and he's seeing there's no protection, there's no safety, there's no sense of comfort, obviously. But it's just so sad to see this kid just want to give up on life. I mean, what options does he feel like he has? He just wants to stay in this situation, get beat up and jumped all the time with no one to come and have his back. He has
then
no trial date, just no sense of hope.
I feel like the other thing that sucks about it is that he's waiting for a public defender. John Oliver did a really good, or not article, like a video short about public defense and just kind of some of the problems with it. Look out for podcasts and stuff like that about it because the public defense system is kind of really screwed up. So anybody who like passes the bar like can be a public defender. So like all the lawyers like sign up, and it's like if you're a lawyer in the area, you can technically be called upon to be a public
Right.
defender. So sometimes people will be defending a criminal case and they're like a tax lawyer. So they know nothing about criminal law.
wow.
And so you literally are just thrown a case with someone you don't know. You don't know anything about this
Get
type
the-
of criminal activity. And then you like are overworked because you also have your other cases that you're working. So public defense is its own whole problem. And that is another thing that really affects the Black community or, I guess underprivileged community because they can't afford like lawyers like some rich kids can do, Black or white, indifferent. Like there's definitely, and this will come up later. I took notes. There's a wealth privilege affluence privilege.
yeah,
That is
you
a
mean like
real,
Davis?
real problem.
Right.
And that's what I said. It'll come back up because I had.
no, it's
he's
in
next?
it's in this
Oh,
whole
is he?
area
Good.
with Nova.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing is that he definitely has some affluence privilege that he doesn't realize he has. I'm like, you need to check yourself, dude. Like,
Before we
you
like
are
jump to
not the
Davis,
same.
like I've been in courtrooms and seen for minor infractions. I've been to courtrooms and seen like the public defenders just like lined up, get the case,
Yeah,
bring
they
up
don't
the
even
case.
know.
They're like
They
reading through
literally
this,
don't
and they're
know.
just like, oh yeah, he's gonna do this, and I'm just like, where is the defense here? Where is the
And they tell people
the
to take.
justice?
They tell people
take
like
the
plead guilty. They will tell them
plead
that 'cause
guilty.
They don't know what
That's
else
what
to
they
do.
tell you. So I've heard or seen from afar.
I'm gonna say, wow. Do you,
I'm just like
much.
do
agreeing
you
with
not
you.
talk
Like the
about it? Do
system
you
is
still
just
have some litigation going?
no, it's all settled.
It's all good. But yeah, that is a real problem. And Nova, you know, when Davis tries to talk to her about it, he's like, "Oh man, yeah, I read your article, and you know, black
hard
man,
being a black man
it's
out here,
hard
right?
being a black man
Especially
because of
when
your
you're light skinned.
My sister, you know.
But one thing that he said that I do agree with is he said if a black man is accused of something, he must have done it.
Right.
That is true.
And that is very true because everyone just assumes the worst. It used to be, you know, the law is like innocent until proven guilty, but
Right.
everything is tried so hard out publicly that you actually have to prove your innocence
Right.
nowadays. And that's not how this is supposed to go or how it's supposed to be. Everyone
Right.
just assumes it's like, oh, that person got arrested. Yep, he did it.
So
And
it's like
sometimes-
black men and women in rape situations have a similar. Oh, they're
Yeah.
lying. They
And then
did it.
I feel like it's especially black men of status because even looking like the whole Chris Brown situation that happened a couple
tearing
weeks
black men
ago.
down.
They arrested
They-
him for something he was
helicopters, like,
accused of doing.
just
Like
The whole
what?
shebang out at his house, and you're just sitting there like,
What did
no
they
wonder this boy is so
do?
Crazy,
angry.
of
Like
course.
I would
he
be mad
hasn't
too.
done. He was asleep. He
He
didn't do
literally-
anything the night before. He doesn't even know this chick,
Yes, it was
and she
so
got
crazy.
the SWAT team out on him.
Helicopters are everything. Primetime
I
news.
know that's the thing. It was on the
It was
news. It
breaking
wasn't
news in the
everywhere.
middle of the day.
I'm like,
Police
oh.
outside Chris Brown's home.
Yes,
I really thought he
He's
was
like-
he
I was-
barricaded himself
he
inside.
tossed out a bag full of weapons.
I'm like, he
Where they
must-
at?
I was like, he must have murdered somebody for this.
like,
I'm
oh,
like,
shit,
wow.
it's about-
I'm like,
he's
what did
about to
Chris
be
Brown
It
over.
do?
was like the
And
new
then-
OJ
It
situation.
was.
And
briefly.
then it all falls out, and you find out that it was all basically BS. And it's like,
There's no story about that.
It-
They
so-
just let you have that perception
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
something
it
went
was
Like,
wrong.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, where's all the
Very-
media reports about how they were all wrong and didn't do their fact checking?
It's not coming.
so sad.
Sorry, Chris
So-
Brown.
Yeah, I feel
so
bad for him
sad.
because like that was nuts. But
He's still a
yeah,
little
so
crazy,
I think that like that while there is wealth privilege, I do think that there is still this sense of trying to tear down a black man of privilege or of a certain status because it's like we'll let
can't
you
have too much.
yeah, you can have just enough to entertain us, but no, once you get to a certain level, we're
Like,
cutting
gonna
that down.
cut you at the knees and bring you back down.
Right.
That's
so-
what people were saying about Bill Cosby before like 38 other women came out.
Came
when it's
out.
just like those
Yeah.
first three, they're like, oh, try and tear down Bill Cosby, and then a
Yeah.
lot more
But-
women came.
No, but yeah, but I don't just but yeah, Davis trying to that aside, Davis trying to compare himself to Too Sweet. It was like a weird stretch for him to try to because I think at this point he's grasping for straws,
Yeah,
trying to
he's
get
trying
to- Yeah.
anyone on his side.
I
'Cause
mean,
he
Vibe
knows
still won't
he's
even
wrong.
let him in the house.
She
It
sure
looks
She
like.
said that they'll
Said
be
be
out
back
from
in
the
a
field
minute.
in just
Yeah.
a minute.
I ain't going nowhere.
Did you not hear what I just said?
Yeah, like
They'll be
I
back.
already told you.
stay on
And
the
then
porch.
the last thing I want to talk about with Nova is that after this conversation with Davis, she calls the bank and transfers money not from her account but from the farm's account.
Yeah, no.
AKA
to-
Charley's account,
Yeah, to
Yeah, Nova.
post bail for
which I
Too
thought
Sweet.
they didn't have bail because he didn't have.
No, what she said, so he had a bail, but she said we couldn't get the bail adjusted
Oh,
without a
gotcha,
court date,
gotcha.
like to a lower.
Got you. So she was paid the full thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess she paid the full thing, but I'm just like, okay, now that gonna come out,
Yeah,
and
someone's
Somebody's
gonna know.
pocket.
Who's gonna get blamed? You think she's gonna take credit for it?
she'll take credit for it,
Yeah.
but it's just gonna be a whole other thing because like this farm, you already have Ralph Angel who wasted a couple
$15,000.
$1,000s
But I feel like
in.
money
He made it back.
is-
Yeah, and, like
I feel like money they're making it more important than it should be because these are multi-millionaires, Charley and Davis. So when they argue about money and
yes
stuff,
and
I'm
no.
like,
but
do you know
this
how much
isn't.
money a basketball player makes?
But this isn't an investment. She's just paying out of pocket
Yeah,
for
it's
all
just
of this
going.
They don't
stuff.
spend that on a weekend, though, is what I'm saying. Like, they have so much money. Like, you don't
They don't know
understand.
when their next check's coming because
'Cause
he's
he's not
not
on the
playing
team.
right now.
He's at the end of his career. His bank is set.
He lost all his endorsements because of this case.
And not only that, like you have to realize,
it's
like
family.
Their money is tied up in other things too. So like their house and like I feel like
they could be worth a lot, but all the houses that they own
property
is what makes them worth a lot of money.
Okay.
And they're going to be going through a divorce pretty soon because I'm just calling that now. So I do think that they do need to be careful with how much money they're putting into this farm because when they do go to sell it, which is the plan right now after a year, all the money they make off the farm will go directly to Charley because she's the one who's put in all this money over time. And it's like, if you want any part of the cut, you guys have to start making a profit on your own and not just relying on Charley's money.
I hear all that. I just think they got money.
No, they don't. I have an uncle who played in the NBA. Like
I think that they have it. Like they're
you have,
fine.
You also have to take care of your family and your life. And
I think that there's a lot of expense living to it. Like you know what I mean? There's
Black people live
to
till they like 110 now. Like that's a long time.
Cicely
you know.
Tyson, what up?
Yeah,
Please,
like that's a long time to not be making a huge paycheck. And
shout out to Cicely Tyson though, because like wow.
You saw that recent picture on Twitter?
She looks good.
91. Looks like she's in her 70s.
Amazing.
You know, but at the same time, they got Betty White, so. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
you're
not
not.
kidding. I do love Betty White too.
Speaking of all this
Speaking of Betty White.
Wait, actually, you guys got me so confused. I don't even know where I'm going next. We're going to talk about Ralph Angel. Okay. So we finally learned the guy at work's name. It's Melvin, in case you guys didn't pick that up.
I missed that. I was like, what is this
I actually was like,
dude.
It was halfway through the episode before he actually said his name. Melvin. So I went on IMDb. I was like, I got to know this dude's name because I can't write notes about him. It's Melvin.
He just sounds like a
he's a crooked dude. He's telling Ralph, there's no way out. Like, you're in this, you're in it for life. Now, this is like a gang all of a sudden.
I wrote gang mentality.
It's just a
IT gang.
Yeah, it's just like it's a day job, yo.
Why are you so serious,
what is
man?
This? Yeah, but I guess there are a lot of convicts work there, so maybe that's.
Maybe they all do it. It seems like a brotherhood. They all like had Melvin's back during the jumping. But the thing is,
I feel like that's another problem with our criminal system. Is that I feel like a lot of times it breeds more criminal activity. Like you go in, like you may have done something soft, and then you get in and you're around hardcore criminals, and you have to survive. To survive, you have to like toughen up, and then you get out and you are a hardcore criminal. So it's like, so I get how they get this gang mentality at work is because that's what they had to do to survive.
And now they need to store some stuff on the farm, and I mean, it was a lot of stuff that was locked up in that shed. But
are we still cutting Ralph Angel's slack? I don't know. To the viewers out there, to everyone who says we're too hard on Ralph Angel.
Leave Ralph Angel alone.
Okay, he's still just misunderstood. Got
it.
I mean, he's trying though. Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm like Ralph, dude.
He's trying super hard. I'm sorry, Tiona. Like,
he did
come
this.
on.
No, this episode he
really got a
the
new
whole
phone.
time
He's got a wad of cash.
He got a wad of cash.
Like
so he did his one job because his boss cut him short on his money.
Yes.
He did his one job so he could, get a phone and be part of the 21st century.
Valid. I mean, valid,
right?
I'm with you.
He paid for his aunt who has done everything for him and his child to go get some brunch.
But the way he
was like, go get some brunch on me.
Now he's just breaking them off.
Like the two of them gonna eat $40 worth of stuff, but that's cute. Let her keep the change.
Brunches are expensive.
For a 5-year-old.
Brunch in LA.
Sunday brunch, bro.
No, there's a kids menu somewhere. Okay, this is the South. But no, I saw him actually trying, and I know that when we were watching the cops come and we weren't sure what was going to happen with the shed, I kept saying, I really hope he was smart enough when he quit his job to get rid of the stuff.
Was he? No, and was he smart enough?
He was not smart enough to do that, but that's why he has his auntie looking out for him.
Pause. Also, when he was doing that, I'm like, the easiest way to like look incriminating is that when he goes outside, you're in the wind. Like, dude, if you're going to play it cool, play it cool. I'm like, at least act like nothing's out there. Don't sit there and watch him, because then I'm like, I'm going to open this thing. Like, what are you doing?
But he also didn't put up a fight. He was very ready to accept the consequences for what he has done. So that's why I give him a pass. Well, not a pass. That's why I see the potential in him, and I see that he is changing because he did something wrong. He also got his boss to fire him.
If you thought he was ugly, you wouldn't say any of this. You're just saying that because
No,
you think
I'm
he's
not.
just like.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not.
okay.
I say it because I
This is
choose.
a broke down
I
Negro. You would
choose
not
to
be
see
saying
the
that.
best in everyone,
Okay.
even you.
Oh, ouch! Shots
I
fired.
appreciate,
Yes.
I appreciate that sentiment.
Yes.
I'll give
No.
But you see him trying.
He is trying, I'll give you that.
He got his shift changed so that he wouldn't have to work with Melvin because Melvin was saying he couldn't get out. That didn't work. He gets in a fight. That doesn't work. His boss is like, "You're fired." He's like, "Oh, really? I'll go talk to my probation officer and let him know you've
I was proud of him
shorted
for
me.
that
Like,
moment. I was
how
proud
about you
about
lay
that.
me off instead so that he
Did that
doesn't
not
get in trouble?"
confuse anybody else? Because I'm like, how? Why? Hey,
Between
why
being
would you?
fired and laid off.
No, that I made sense. But I meant like, why? Why wouldn't you go to your parole officer earlier about
When it first happened.
Yeah. To me, I'm like, if you had that option, if that was a car.
Well,
in your
because
wheelhouse-
he would still have to go to work there every day. And you don't want to be the snitch who's now back at work.
okay.
Because the boss is not going to
he's
treat
mad
you
at
right.
you. Then he's gonna
And
make
then
you
you got
quit.
all these convicts in there who are also,
I got you.
you know,
Makes sense.
you can't
I was
say
just wondering. I was like, if you had that,
it's snitches get stitches.
and wind up in ditches. That this is I had to learn.
Wow, that was intense.
Oh,
Another level.
I'm
Wow.
so sorry.
It's
This
really
is,
dark in here.
yeah, I apologize.
Ryan.
I
Took a
know.
turn.
Hey.
Ryan's a gangster.
But I also wanted to talk about Blue real quick because we haven't seen Blue
Ah.
in a couple weeks. And he's just adorable.
He is cute kid.
He just wanted his dad to come to church with him. Come on, Pop. He wanted
That
to,
was so
he
sweet.
wanted to drive the tractor.
When can I drive?
Pop.
Such a real moment.
Did either
Yeah.
of you ever call your dad Pop?
No.
Come on,
No,
Pop.
I call my grandpa Pop.
No,
Oh, I call mine Papa.
So.
I didn't. I called them Joseph and David. Those are their names. So I said, "Hello, David. How are you today?" You guys are giving me the look.
Because you're still black and you did that.
How are you alive?
kidding.
You like Pop in the mouth.
I would never. I would.
I was like, whoa, you are bold, sir.
5 years old. Hello, David. How are you today?
I was like, where are you coming from?
That's it. I'm having my future babies call my dad Tom.
Yes, please do.
Good afternoon, Tom. Good to see you again. Hope you're well.
Mr. Tom.
I hope that conversation happens.
One day it will. I will train my kids to do that.
That
Don't
is
worry.
So funny.
Also, I'm a little disappointed in Ralph Angel being, sorry to go back a little bit,
no,
being
go
so
back.
super tough, but losing that fight to that old Melvin dude. Like,
Now they had like 3 other dudes around him. What
no,
is that?
like he got knocked down. Like, dude knocked him over with a box. I'm like, bro, you are this young, strapping, fit dude, and you're getting beat up by this 40-year-old. Like,
Melvin's a big
potatoes.
guy,
And
though.
Melvin seemed like he's been.
I was a little disappointed in his fighting ability.
You're
is
just
all.
disappointed in Ralph
Yeah,
Angel in general.
Really, what is your problem?
And I
I'm
think
embarrassed.
because he's cute is
Oh,
why
I'm
you
hating
give him
this.
a
I'm
hard
hating
time.
now.
If he was
Yeah.
busted,
I'm
you
a
wouldn't
hater.
Yeah, if he
have
was
it.
busted, you wouldn't be saying all this about him.
The tables
Yeah.
have turned.
I'm not a hater.
I
bro.
see you.
All
I
right,
see
okay.
you. I know your whole game now.
All right.
Okay.
I want the best for Ralph Angel. I really do.
So
No one believes you.
Ralph and Blue are adorable. And he said he had to take classes to like. Oh, I felt.
Yeah,
bad
he's
for
got
that.
one more year of parole. He's got to take parenting classes, which,
And-
I know he doesn't think he needs, but I think
he might-
everyone could use,
yeah, it
little.
can't hurt.
And I think one thing that Ralph said this episode that I think was cool, or one thing he did was when Nova was trying to kind of pull him on her side and being like, I don't understand why Charlie's mad. And he goes, you don't understand what it's like to have your life on blast like that. And like it put me in perspective too, because I was thinking I was the same way. I was like, Charlie, you're being dramatic, like get over it. But that is a very valid point. Like it's hard to
It's a
understand.
good sibling dynamic.
Right.
To
Well,
see both sides. And
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
actually
okay.
might want to bring it back a little
Yeah,
bit.
like you have to understand where because it's like she hears everyone all day talking trash on her life who don't know. So Nova, you as a person who does know what's going on, for you to speak on it and even slightly insinuate that something else
Yeah.
is going on.
Just
is
imagine
just
like the
messed
distress
up.
your sister's going through.
Yeah, like let it like so I'm
Just
like,
let this one go.
so that's what I'm saying. So Ralph Angel definitely has moments when he
Maturity.
is mature and he is like, oh, okay, I'm with you, Ralph. Sorry, I'm on the fence because there are some moments when I'm like, man, Ralph.
Oh,
get
really?
it.
Tell me more.
So I'm like, I'll lay off of him a little bit because
Oh my gosh.
has his moments.
Yes, he does.
Can we talk about how Aunt Vi is like solidified herself as my favorite character?
Oh.
Between that scene in the
she's
dining room.
She's like, let's drink.
Let's start drinking.
let's start
I'm like,
drinking
that's
now.
how you solve everything.
I'm
Let's
like,
just
you
get
are
the
so
bottle out,
right.
break out the bottle. Aunt Vi.
Yeah, because Nova and Charlie do get into that huge fight right before Prosper is coming over. I keep
Yeah.
wanting to call him the Prospector, which is a character from the Toy Story
Yeah, I'm like,
too.
yeah.
It
And
sounds farmy, the
Yeah.
prospector. Like,
Pause.
Old time.
That's where you went. Toy Story 2.
Prospector is part of Woody's gang.
I know what you're saying.
Oh,
I do know
right.
what you're saying, but I love it. That's where you're going.
Callback.
my whole life is influenced by Disney movies. I don't know what else to tell you. I am Princess Tiana, in case you forgot. So
that's the realest thing.
yes.
Well, all right.
So Prosper is on his way over, and they get in that huge fight. And sorry, I wrote down what was said. When Charley then tells the whole family, "Yes, I'm paying $3 million to keep her mouth shut," and Vi says, "Well, that's one expensive piece of ass."
Like, yes.
That was my favorite line of the episode.
She is a G. I love her.
Hey, you know, booty don't come cheap sometimes. That's weird. I'm sorry.
Is that from experience? Y'all both over here revealing a lot about your personal lives.
I'm personally embarrassed by that statement. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. Yeah.
I mean, I know you are a streetwalker now.
We are escorts. That's what we like to be called.
Yeah. Where can your ads be found? Penny saver?
Damn. The shade is real.
We all have to start somewhere. So
you work your way up, boo. You work your way up. Eventually, you'll get in the Wall Street Journal or something.
I'm done. Oh my god. So
Tiana's got the jokes tonight. She's on one.
So Prosper, this dinner,
Prosper,
$3 million.
yes. That's a nice scene.
No, but I appreciate Vi. And the other thing I appreciated her this episode was she had the perfect, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
That's that entire time when she was standing in the window looking at
with
Ralph, I was like, oh, that screams, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And
It's
that
just
is
the worst.
it is. It's the worst feeling to have a parent or guardian have that on you, because it's just like, dang, I would much rather you be mad at me.
Yes.
Because I can deal with that, but you being disappointed, it's like, damn.
Because deep.
It does. So like just that whole time she goes,
But maybe
"Oh, will they find anything?" He goes, "No." Well, they won't. It's like, ooh, like, I felt it.
At the
She's a
bottom
writer.
by you.
Maybe this will be the moment that Ralph Angel finally takes accountability, seeing the disappointment in his aunt's face and seeing he was this close to going back to prison. Like, I'm giving him like some hope
I'm just
here.
watching you to see what you're gonna say.
I'm just giving. I feel like maybe this will turn it around for Ralph Angel.
Okay.
He came like when you get that close to the white light, and I think you learn some things.
I
about
mean,
yourself.
jail. He would have been. That's
Red
I
and
feel
blue
like
lights?
federal prison. He would have been done. I would imagine.
Yeah, because he definitely would have been breaking his parole.
Exactly.
And at
also
least
stealing.
grand larceny, I'm
Thousands
sure
of
Yeah.
would have been something.
At least it wasn't drugs, you know?
That's true. Bright side.
Right side. It was
those are
just some
drugs.
cell phones and some little electronics.
Video
Someone
games.
needed, yeah.
Christmas was
Coming up. But so on the other side of all of this, we have Remy helping with the farm stuff, and Remy is a smart guy, y'all. He has created his own
He did. Yeah.
cane of breed.
Were they
Breeding.
called?
He like hybrid
Not very
or
agricultural over
bred. He probably bred
Okay.
2 species of sugarcane to be like a better yield.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
and
imagining
he's
is
just
what it
looking for someone to take a chance on him.
Hot. Like he's
Yeah.
probably like
He's
like,
offering
But does
for
that make
free.
you feel?
Like
That didn't make you
Ernest?
feel a little shady at all that he had?
I
Oh,
did.
by the way,
I
here's my
did.
portfolio of everything I'm working on. Do you want to?
That's where my mind went. My mind instantly was like, this seems a little too good to be true. Because why now? Why are we not going to LSU?
He played the long
just
game.
happens to, I feel like
Befriend her,
he's
get her
too good,
trust.
and I agree. I want him to be good. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
But he's too good.
See, none
too
of
good.
that bothered me, or I don't even think the right word is bothered. None of that set
Where you
off
see any
in
flags.
like
A red flag.
a red flag for me. But during the dinner, when we find out that he's a widow,
Oh,
that
dude,
kind of
I glazed over that. I totally missed that.
when Prospector is talking about how
Shayna.
Shayna, he's
I
like,
thought he was talking about his wife.
no, he said his wife was Claire. He said after Claire died, like I haven't had home cooked meals, and he's like, Remy, you know, like after Shayna,
passed, yeah.
and he said a lot of like frozen meals and microwaves or something like that.
See, I thought that was normal.
and
But yeah, see, that sets off a red flag. That's interesting. 'cause
that wasn't really a red flag to me.
Just
But it's
like,
just like
huh,
we haven't mentioned this, and not that you have to go around
And say, yeah, your
advertising
wife
that
is
you
an
have,
ass.
but him and Charley have been
So
pretty
close,
close, and Charley
yeah.
has opened up a little bit to him about what's
True,
going
that's
on in
fair.
her marriage and her life. So you just would have thought that
They
at
seem-
some point it would have been discussed that like, oh yeah, I was married. And
I agree, like for like a normal person, but I feel like Charlie is also a little selfish, and so I could see her never
Driving the
thinking
conversation to
You know what I mean?
about
I could
her.
imagine her keeping it focused on her.
But then in that same regard, she's so focused on doing things her way and finding the cane and doing all this stuff that why would he come to her and be like, hey, I have my own thing that I could give you guys to use.
Valid.
Because, and I think
It
he
was for
wanted
free.
to, and he wanted to, you know, go through all the lines of like, hey, we could maybe do this, this, and this. And then the last resort is, well, you're desperate and I have it. And no one has wanted to do it.
And he's like, I mean, because he knows that it's risky.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, I agree. In my heart of hearts, I want him to, like, be telling the truth, to be honest. But I'm just saying, the way TV works is that, no, something's wrong with him. It might not be that, but I agree. That's where my mind went as soon as he was
where it went, but hearing you lay
you
out...
guys are just not trusting people.
No, I wasn't trusting, but here you break it down like that. Like, he didn't tell Ralph Angel to buy the bad sugar.
Yeah.
He's walked her down every possible avenue. So that's fair.
I mean, you're not going to come out at the first,
oh,
the gate like, hey,
you want
I'll
CD,
do this, but use my stuff.
Because then we would have, because I would have jumped on him for then. Then I would have jumped on and be like, oh, that's how you're just going to use it for that.
Yeah, you're just using her to get this done.
Right.
So see?
We'll see what happens, but
I still have faith in him, and I guess I have to retract my earlier statement that he's gay as a prediction because he was married to a woman, but...
Pause.
I mean, that don't mean nothing.
There are plenty of married men with children.
You speak from personal.
No, my record is very clean, but I'm just saying I know people who know people who...
You and Tiona have some adulterous friends.
I'm not saying they're friends. I'm just saying... No, legitimately, there are websites for people to like...
There are.
So, nah, that don't mean nothing. People are married all the time with children.
Okay.
But, so the one other thing about this farm business is that the prospect... the prospect... It's Prosper.
Well, I'm confused about what is his name again?
It's Prosper.
Okay.
He says at the dinner, he's like, look, I will help you guys out, but if you guys are coming in here with the mentality of you're only doing this for one season and selling, that's how I'm coming in. And it's like, okay, does that mean he's not going to work as hard? Or, you know, he's one and done. Like, you got me for 1 year, and then next year, if you decide to go on, you got to find someone else.
And they didn't answer that question either.
They didn't. They were just like, okay, yeah, you can have 10% of the fall.
And a regular salary and 10% of what we make. So
yeah.
They're desperate.
Part of me feels like they're not going to. I mean, I don't. Because I feel like the show couldn't go on if they sell the farm.
And I think especially now that we have, like, this new grade of sugar that could be coming out, it could be very successful. So.
And Sam Landry's gonna be eyes on.
He's gonna be out there trying to steal the sugar,
That's good prediction.
get it for himself. So let's get into this whole Melina, aka Goldie, situation.
What a bomb!
What a bomb, right?
Wow.
Someone called it. I thought it was one of you two, but I guess it was one of our watchers or YouTube comments that said they thought that Davis and Melina had been in a relationship for a long time. I read that somewhere. So you guys out there called it. That was great.
The way she describes it, though, I mean, like, relationship / friendship.
She sounds like a side piece. Like, that's how every side piece, every like,
but if
if
you've devoted 3 years and he's whining and dining you, taking care of you, like,
that's what they do. Like, that's wags. Like, there's wives and there's girlfriends. You have multiple people on the roster.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, he can
starter,
sleep with any girl in any city.
Apparently so. I was like, wow. Yeah, because she came with the receipts.
If she was actually really his and only his, then he would have been paying for her apartment, her house, like her car, everything. And
you were taken aback by how nice she was living. You did say that.
She was. But he would have been doing it to the point of she would not have to do this for anyone else.
Should have been.
If he really wanted her for just him, then she wouldn't have had to do it for anyone else. Like, that would have been just her life, was waiting for him to come in town.
Yeah.
Do what you do and, like,
what a life.
Get on with it. You gotta be really good at what you do
you gotta
to live like that.
But she was really good at what she did.
Yeah, she was really good. But I mean,
who's to say she didn't stop that before?
Stop.
Yeah, I mean,
escorting.
We still don't know a lot about her.
Right. But this
but
did
the
make
story
me,
it
made me feel
disturbing.
For her. Like, before I was like, she's kind of rude, but like now I get it. I think I'll be. So the way it comes out is like he basically set her up. That's what it sounds like, at least from her perspective.
I don't think he set her up. I think
that's her perspective.
I think
her
he was
hit
her up to hook up with her, and the other basketball players hit up their escorts. They didn't show. He was going to be with her for the night, but Micah got the asthma attack, so he left. And he was like, well, you just stay here and like help out my homies, because in his mind, she's still just an expensive piece of ass, still just.
But
I
I can see how in her mind it was a setup because, like, sure, you got the call from Micah. That
Yeah,
could
it
have all
wasn't
been
planned.
but like,
He didn't need to
someone
leave
could
her.
stage such a thing. Like, I can see how in her mind she could twist that.
You
to,
think
like,
he would be like,
you
oh,
said,
there's
yeah.
this phone call, I'm gonna go, and now my boy's gonna fuck you. But this is
Yes.
He didn't know the girls were gonna cancel. The escorts were gonna cancel. They thought they all had girls coming back.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
believe that he.
Lied.
I'd like to think that he did not leave with the
Intent.
intent of his friends then taking her.
Right. Yeah.
And in the voicemail, as harsh as it was, he did not actually say, yes, I paid them to sleep
said
with
he
you.
didn't
He
do
said, well, you still got paid for it, so
Right.
why are you complaining?
Yeah.
And at that point, you know, we hadn't heard her side. Maybe he didn't know that these guys actually did rape her. He's thinking, well, I mean, I paid you. I actually gave you more money than
paid this sex
normal.
worker more
Yeah,
money.
I paid you more money than normal. And these two guys were saying that like they each
paid
hit
him,
it like
yeah.
separately,
Yeah.
not in a rape fashion. So he was not there to know how it went down. But in his voicemail, as harsh as it was, to me, it still wasn't an admission of he paid
Her for
her
this act.
so that these guys could
Right.
then rape her.
No, he just gave her some extra cash.
Yeah.
That's his. That's his.
It's
girl.
like those guys are still the guys who raped her
Right.
and took advantage of the situation.
I find it so interesting that they're getting out of it because it's all on him, and I'm like,
it's personal. It's personal with him.
Yes.
It's all. That's why
no,
she
no,
wanted to
no,
have
no,
the meeting.
not.
She
But I
wanted
mean,
the
I'm just saying
apology.
like the fact that the other guys are just kind of like wiping their hands clean of it, and then we know that the rape kit at least happened in some fashion. So I'm like, well,
Because
if I was him, I'd be like, yeah, please do. Please
If this
do
went
it.
to trial, it would not show that he
did it, 'cause he didn't
raped
do it.
her. He
Right.
would probably get charged with some other lesser form of like paying
Like,
for a rape
maybe
to happen
Pimping,
or
prostitution.
Yeah, prostitution.
Yeah,
probably.
like
But
pain.
to me, I would if I was him, I'd be like, please take this to trial. Like I would
Yeah.
want it to come out because I'm like, I didn't do this.
And
Like,
the other thing is, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I know at least in California, I'm not sure what it is in Louisiana, but in California, unless the person knows that they are being recorded, you cannot admit that in
yeah,
a
that's
trial.
illegal. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not illegal in every state, but like in
Right, that was
California
like
at
the
least. So
Don
I
To
don't-
Sterling
record,
thing.
Yeah.
They couldn't
And
use-
Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah.
She might be taking legal action because they illegally recorded them.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, Davis actually has like a great case because now we know that Davis actually is innocent.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what he told Charley before they went into that room, he's like, I don't know what she's gonna say in there, but just know that I did not rape her.
Right.
And he hasn't been
not
lying
lying.
this
Never
whole
lied.
time.
Right. She believed him. I believed him.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
it
wasn't
doesn't mean that
lying.
he's not a monster who was sleeping with a woman for years and was basically
Right.
like, you're not the only girl I
Right,
sleep
yeah,
with on
it's
the
like,
road
right.
either. You're just my
And
Houston
you're
chick.
One, yeah, you're one of many.
Yeah,
so.
like you're one
I
of
pay you
many.
to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Unless I put something
Unless I
in
put
it.
something in it, keep
I
your
was
mouth. I was like,
like,
"Ooh, that's a
wow.
hot tweet right there."
Fuck
What do you
out.
guys think he meant? What's he putting in her mouth?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
Like,
yeah.
like
Most,
chocolate.
I'm speaking from escort experience. We do a lot of dinners.
Oh, okay.
So,
So like chocolate covered strawberries
Right.
and stuff like that.
I don't
Okay.
even know where the TV show ends and where life begins anymore. It's just all too real.
but at the end of the episode, Charley said, "It's over."
Do you really
We're
think it's
over.
over?
No, it's not over. She's going back.
Because I wrote, "Yay, Remy!" Just open door, slide on in there, Remy. Because you saw Davis when he saw her
He
with
knew.
Remy. He
He
was
was
like,
He was so
"Oh,
threatened. He was so
Oh.
threatened.
Oh, that's a local
So-
farmer. Actually,
No.
He's an engineer.
engineer
he's
and a professor.
he's like really smart, and he gets like grants and stuff to do
She's
research
so-
and everything. He's like amazing."
She's like, don't try to play
She's
my
petty
new
Betty,
man.
this-
Yeah.
so petty.
Petty.
He's an engineer.
He's an
actually.
engineer. I don't know
She
if you
whipped
know
that
what that
out
is,
real
but it's
quick.
pretty awesome.
He gets paid for his brain, you know. So
He doesn't have to just go shoot hoops into a basket.
so ugly. Whatever.
All right,
And
so
the professor. Oh my god.
let's get
Y'all
into
are
some
ridiculous.
predictions right now.
Y'all are ridiculous.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I want to be abducted by aliens.
Is that your prediction? Or
One day it's gonna happen. No,
What just happened?
the lights and the sounds.
No.
Spaceships, no.
No.
Just me.
who wants to be abducted by
Abducted.
aliens? They do weird experiments.
Well, I
on
want to
you.
just like see the universe, you know. Know that there's more out there.
I don't think that you get a window view, but you know, there are spaceships
Okay.
that are going to Mars.
There
You can
are,
sign up
there
for it.
are.
They're going to colonize. You
Okay.
can't come back ever,
Yeah, it's
but
done. That's
It's all
a
right.
one and done.
Once I'm over it. So peace
Okay.
out, Earth. But no, my prediction is you asked.
Okay.
You asked if I thought Remy and Charley were going to get together, or Charley and Davis were going to stay together, I think Charley's going to end up getting back with Davis. I think she's going to have a little fling with Remy, maybe for the rest of the season, beginning of next season. But I think eventually, as a mother, as a businesswoman, as the practical being that she is, she's going to wind up back in Davis's arms. He didn't end up raping this woman. Yes, he cheated. I think she'll go through some emotional tolls with dealing with the cheating and him being a scumbag. But I do think she'll forgive him eventually and wind up back with Davis.
I agree. I think that her and Davis are gonna end up together too. I don't know if I necessarily
they're
like
too
it.
light skinned. They're too perfect looking together. It's just.
I mean, Remy's light skinned too.
He's not that light skinned.
That's true. He's been in the field. So.
You guys are colorists.
Yeah, we are.
No, I love all shades.
I feel like, although Ralph Angels, I do think that this is going to be him turning a new leaf, and he's going to try to really get things right. Nova's going to start signing off on his checks, but I think because because Nova just did that. No, because remember Nova said I can sign over your checks,
But he said she couldn't because it's Charlie's money.
Right, but I think that we know she legally has the right to sign over money. So, so what I'm saying is that
someone's gonna be writing some checks for Ralph.
Right. What I'm saying. Sorry.
No, because how I understood it, just because this might affect your prediction, they're not being paid to farm. They're paying the other workers. So what he was saying was
he's saying
he couldn't be an employee because they can't afford that. So Charley would be paying out of
her
pocket.
And what I'm saying is that what I think Nova, because we know she has access to the farm money, the farm account. And what I'm saying is that I think she's going to try to, because he needs a job. So I think she's going to try to give him that money. And then because of her signing off that $10,000 to Too Sweet, that is going to cause some friction. And then I think Ralph is going to be in trouble because he doesn't have a job in it right now. Does that make sense? Am I being weird about this?
No. It makes sense. I think because he got it so that because he got laid off.
Oh, he's okay.
I just think that it buys him more time to find a new job as opposed to getting fired because a layoff, it's like
with your conviction.
No,
I mean, don't let me dissuade you because I'm not right about everything, just most things.
Come back and be pregnant, and that's my prediction.
Don't be Michelle. Stand up for yourself.
Hey, no, because you know what happens when people stand up. You become LaToya or Farrah. I'm going to be Michelle, and I'm
just going to back down. Yes, whatever you say. Yes, Queen.
And I agree with Omari's prediction. I think that Charley and Remy will get together, but I think by the season finale, we'll see her and Micah both on a plane headed back to LA.
And you can see that shot right
there.
there.
That shot, just like the closing shot of them
the window.
going back. I need to know what's going on with Hollywood because we didn't get him this week.
We didn't get anything.
Well, he's back at work, I guess.
Hopefully.
On the oil rigs, right? Is that what he does?
I think his wife's
drives the truck.
I honestly think his wife's going to kill herself because we are going to shoot suicidal. So I think that's going to be
I think that might happen. And I also think that what Ralph Angel actually needs is for a teacher girl to come back. So I'm going to predict that the teacher comes back.
They did mention her today.
He did mention her today. So I think next week maybe we'll get her back. And maybe he'll hey.
Until she finds out about his criminal ways.
Well, she already knows that. Yeah. He was in jail.
But she don't know.
And we still got to find out what he went to jail
That'll come out
for in the first place.
This season.
Yeah, obviously. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure you guys let us know what you think is going to happen this season on Queen Sugar, and tweet us, leave us a comment on YouTube, and like us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, go over to iTunes and give us 5 stars there, and give us 5 stars, and leave us a comment there as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and where can the good people find you guys all week to talk about this show?
You can find me on Twitter at Ryann with 2 N's Graham, and on Instagram at Instagram.
And you can find me at On with Omari on Twitter and IG.
And you can find me at the Tiona Hobson. Make sure you check out all the shows that we do here in studio for you guys all week, all free of charge. Make sure you download, subscribe, find us all over the internet at AFTERBUZZ TV. And we will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.